scientific is actually you started recording.
Yeah, my bad. It's just me. It's just for me and you, bro.
Yeah, no, but the actual scientific evidence behind that, because they got scientific studies that states that the human brain, and this is data that's tested, over decades, by scientists, some of the smartest people in the game. The human brain is only able to really focus on, maximum of about six things at
Right.
one time before it start making critical errors. That's when the errors and things like that come into play. So like when you showing me these graphs and things like that, bro, like I say, like I'm abreast with statistics and all of that type of stuff. You feel me?
Absolutely.
I basically like have a if not in depth about certain things, I definitely have a surface level of understanding about a lot of things.
That's a fact, bro. I know you do. That's why I'm able to communicate with you and try to I'm trying to build progress and I'm trying to sustain progress with like-minded people. You feel me? So that's why I'm able to have conversation like this to where I'm able to build content like this for other people and to inspire them. Hey, there is like-minded people out there. Hey, there is things that can be accomplished if you find the people that is similar to you. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah. Yeah,
so
so this definitely something, worth studying and mining and developing because bro, like whatever your idea of it is, it's possible, it's
it's only gonna
definitely
go
possible.
further. Yeah, it's only gonna go further because if you look at the risk percentage that I'm breaking down here, at two trades, bro, I'm risking 1.5%. Now, what I've come to a realization of is people blow their account or people fall into drawdown because they can't sustain the trade that they're in, meaning they either got in at the wrong entry or the lot size that they're in can't handle the amount of drawdown that they potentially would face if they hold on to that trade, if they would have held on to that trade. Like in a nutshell, what I'm saying is people get in sticky situation because one, their lot size is too high, they're over leveraging, or they're not patient enough. And the reason why they're not patient enough is because they're worried about their drawdown. If I know I'm risking 1.5% of my account, my lot size should reflect that along with my PIP amount. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not stressing.
Exactly. And the psychology aspect of it do come into play. That's why like even on like I think I left a comment on the trade nut show when the guy was talking about something that we were discussing about the win rate. All of these things come into play, bro. It's not just one thing single-handedly. All of these things come into play. The psychology, the win rate, all of these things come into play because exactly what you just said, the psychology aspect comes into play when you got an individual who actually don't understand their strategy. They don't understand the limitations of their strategy. It's like, bro, how I told you, a good guy of mine who, actually trained me and he put emphasis on if the market's not going my way, I'm out immediately. It will let me know because my parameters is what I think I'm seeing. If it going in, that's also the importance of a stop loss because it's like, okay, if this trade go against me, where do I get out where it basically it broke down so much to a point where it's like, okay, it identified clearly that I'm wrong.
Right.
And you gotta stick to that. You put that stop loss in that zone, and if it hit it, you not mad. You don't feel anything. You gotta get
But
to a point where you don't
bro,
feel anything because it's like the probabilities. It's a probability game.
bro, me and you both understand how hard it was to understand that perspective that you're speaking of currently today. But take us 5, 6, 7 years ago. we wouldn't have any ideas of what we even are speaking of now. You have to go through the experience, just like you said, you know what I mean? Like you've broken that down. Like I could not have said that better myself. But you can't tell a new trader that. You know what I'm saying? Because they have to go through the process where they haven't been taught, or the people that's teaching them is not stressing that enough, is not teaching them how to avoid those mistakes. You know what I mean?
And I
Because
wouldn't necessarily say that. I don't mean to cut you off.
no, you good, bro.
I wouldn't necessarily say the people because, bro, like how I say, man, a person could teach you till they face turn blue, but until you step in that fire and feel it, sometimes that's just what it takes. And what I kind of understand about the Forex journey is, or the trader journey, it don't matter what you trade, that journey entails you having to get burnt because by nature as a human being we have certain I don't want to
Characteristics,
say it again. What's the word?
the characteristics.
I would say like characteristics. Also, we have like we are creatures of habits.
Yeah, the tendencies.
Right. So if you started your life, how a lot of individuals who experienced in trading say, basically you become the trader that you are based on how you live your life. And some things you have to go through and get burnt to reform to understand that. And it also will help you pinpoint things in your life that's not intact. It helps you develop discipline and all of these type of things because you'll get tired of getting burnt at some point. Some people journey is shorter than others. Some people learn instantly, and some people it takes them years, and you be like, why did it take so long? It's just
Right.
right. Everybody has a different genetic makeup, man, and some
But
for most people you gotta go through that fire.
I mean, from a perspective of me, I've been trading for 5 years now, going to be about to be six, and all that I've been able to learn is it's me versus me in the market, man. It meaning like if I would have just went with my first initial gut process, I would have been fine. But due to the fact of me being like I revenge trade, or I want to hold on to the drawdown because I'm convinced that I'm right. I don't want to, all these things took time for me to learn, to where even if I, like you said, even if I had somebody to teach me how to eliminate those things, there's not enough people out there teaching you the psychology behind trading. You know what I mean? How not to trade during the fact that you might have a bad news during the day, or you're not, you're tired, you haven't slept for 4 hours, 5 hours, and now is not a good time. All these things play a position into how it will affect your trading. You know what I mean? Like you said, trading is a whole it's a whole thing. It's not just one aspects of just click and buy or sell for you to get into profit. It's multiple things that that are into one thing that makes you successful or breaks you, but people don't understand that. They just see the fast life and the money and the withdrawal, and they're they're attracted by that. But the long progress that people don't talk about is the back testing, the things that we're doing now, the talks, the evaluations, and the mind checks. All these things play a crucial part to being a successful trader. Not every successful trader is a successful trader in the mind, heart, and soul.
I agree with every point you made. Hey, I agree with everything. It's 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 a journey, man. It's a real journey. Like trading is
It
not something
is.
you just
It
jump
is.
in and think. A lot of people, they hear about trading and they see, the different things, advertisements and all of that about what the
It
trading
it's a
lifestyle is
mental
like versus
trading.
actually what trading is.
Absolutely, bro. And I don't mean to cut you off. I apologize. But one thing I will add to that, bro, trading is a mental warfare. You know what I mean? It's you versus you. I would say if you become a professional trader, you might have, it's just like being a doctor, because at the end of the day, you got to go and save yourself. You have excitements and you have disappointments. Nobody's going to be there but you to make sure that you have the ability to get up, make sure you mentally mentally stable, to go to the next stage, because there's not people that could lose 10%, 5% of thousands of dollars and be able to function the next day. There's been people that committed suicide because they lost too much money and stuff like that. There are dark aspects of trading. Trading is a really hard career. That's why a lot of people don't succeed in it. You know.
Exactly.
Also, people don't do the work within the fundamental, the technicals. So therefore they don't see real results, bro. They don't. How many traders do you know puts 5 to 6 hours a day, bare minimum, into their craft, learning something new, re-analyzing the risk management, taking the time to evaluate themselves in their trading, all of that stuff. They don't do it, bro. You know?
I agree wholeheartedly. Shit. I say I can't dispute anything that you saying. Like I agree. I'm trying to see how do I shrink my screen because this shit is
You good.
on full. Let me
So
see something.
you good, bro. So I was thinking, bro, like I know you said like 2 trades might not be enough, right? So what if we take 2 trades per session?
No, 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 no. You misconstrued what I said. I never said two trades is not enough because two trades, it's a lot of great traders and stuff like that that take one trade, a week, stuff like that, that all of these things, what I came to understand is a whole lot of different variables at play based upon the strategy that you actually execute, you know, in the market because it's like, what is your account size?
Right.
You base your risk management plan off your account size because
Exactly.
the larger your account size is, your risk management plan may be a little different than if you're working with a small account. Oh, it's a lot of different variables, and
Oh yeah.
I have become the type of trader where it's like, bro, I don't have a fixed mindset at all when it comes to trading, which a lot of traders fail at because they have a fixed mindset about what trading is. It's so many different variables in this market. The market doesn't make the same pattern every day. If it did, it would be a bunch of billionaires and millionaires.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, with me having to come to understand those things is like, bro, I don't take a listen, bro. I'm a pure price action trader right now. That's basically how I hone the strategy and what I see more effective. But I don't deny the fact that sometimes Elliott wave play out, sometimes a moving average play out, sometimes it be consistent on different indicators and stuff. I'm not naive to this type of
Yeah.
stuff.
You
So if
can't be
I
biased.
hmm,
I'm sorry to cut you off. I was saying you can't be biased.
right, you have to be objective when trading, bro. Like because you could see a certain thing that you learned about years ago playing out right in front of your face, but you so biased on structure, in which I understand. That's what, like how I say, what I came to realize is the most consistent, but you could literally see how I just explained a Elliott wave actually playing out, and it hit it to a T.
To
Are
a T,
you ready
right.
to are you ready to trade according to what you're seeing, not what you're thinking, what your bias? Oh, this looked like a buy because this is what how I learned how to trade. Oh, how I told you, like, I don't want to say no names or nothing like that, but how
I,
individual.
I feel you. I feel you. I
Yeah,
feel
how
you.
an individual was just like, he's a certain type of trader, bro. Me, I'm like water, bro. I
Exactly.
don't I take form on, whatever environment that I'm in. Like
You
I'm
gotta be a
not
you gotta be a student first, bro. That's
right.
the only way to adapt to any form of environment.
Exactly, man. And it's like that's just my take, bro. You take
Feel you,
form
bro.
to the
Yeah,
environment that you in, man. You gotta be like fluid, bro. Like you
yeah.
can't be fixed.
I think I think it was Jet Lee says you gotta he said be water, my friend. He says water's the only subject in on earth that can manipulate all form. It can turn into solid, it can turn into liquid, obviously, and it just floats. It can manipulate any shape, you know what I mean? He says be water, my friend. And when it comes to trading, you kind of have to be like water, but it's
I
easier
just
said
said
than
that
done.
to you. I just said that. Like I'm like water, bro. Like it takes the form of basically whatever environment, whatever category that it's in. You
That-
put it in a bowl, it's gonna take the form of that bowl. You put it in the ocean, it's gonna take the form of that land mass. It's adaptable.
exactly, man. And I feel like, a lot of people don't know or don't have the mind power to be like one because they hinder themselves, rather it be from characteristics or just the money or just like whatever it is, until you're satisfied with yourself, until you're content with what you have. It's always good to want more. You know what I mean? That's obviously what everybody wants out of life, but there has to come to there has to be a point in your life to where what you want versus what you need, in a sense of like, okay, I'm content with what I have now, but what I need is for me to reach a higher level of where my content is still content, but my need is to help other people to reach where I'm at. You know what I mean? Until you reach that level, I really don't see any success, man. It's just greed and people's ambition is in the wrong place.
Bro, teaching others, man, actually help you get better because it's like,
Yeah, I agree with you 100% on that. Teaches you
yeah.
patience and everything like that. Gives you different perspective of thought process that you've never thought about.
Hmm.
So yeah, bro.
Have you
Uh,
ever read the I don't mean to cut you off.
no,
Have
no,
you ever
talk to me.
have you ever read the little synopsis I had in the welcome section to psychology work?
Bro, no, I've never had a chance to read that. If you have a chance, if you can, do send me a link. I've actually been listening to the audio that you've shared to the
If you don't
Discord group.
mind, right? If you don't mind, it's a little, it's not too long, but allow me to read it like right now because I
Absolutely,
think
bro.
it makes for great content and like, actually, you know, if you were to share this audio with someone, they would actually see this and probably had that epiphany moment because it make perfect sense. So this is what it says, and this is basically like a something that I was able to like abstract from like a book or something I've read. I don't really remember the actual author of this quote, but it this is how it goes. It says it was basically a group of guys that they went out on a river, right, one day to basically go fly fishing. And then one of the guys noticed that his buddy, who they invited out, he's over there with no hook on his rod. So thinking that it was all a part of like him being an amateur, and at least the experienced of them all, basically he grabbed the hook and went over to his buddies and said, and went over to his buddy and said, basically, how do you expect to catch anything without one of these showing him the hook? And his buddy his reply and rebuttal was, first he ensured him that he was aware that his rod had no hook on it, right? And then he went on to say basically he'd been practicing and focusing on the actual technique and rhythm, and the hook would have actually distracted him because he'd have been too focused on actually catching the fish instead of the process. And then
Mm,
it goes on to say he later went on to catch more fish than all his more experienced buddies put together because he focused so much in the beginning on the actual process of, you know, how to fly fish. How does this thing work? How does the fish react when they see this thing, being cast over the water? He's not focused on catching the fish. He's focused on the process, the rhythm of the actual rod, the string, the rhythm of the fish when because they see this stuff. So when they see it, it's like, damn, how do they react? And it's no different than when you approach and trade. And that's why it's like when I it just like it dawned on me. It was like, God damn, it's like, yo, that's the same thing in the market when a trader is a newbie. Instead of going, that's why I say I'm a fan of the demo, because if you actually approach it how this guy approached that fly fishing, he could have easily went out there, oh, this how you do, yeah, threw the bait on a little thing and then on a rod, and then kept casting and not catching nothing because he don't know the process, he don't know the rhythm of none of that. And that's how trading is when you're in the market. You throw your money in there. You know nothing about the process. You just too focused on getting the bag, getting the bag, getting the money, getting the money. And you know nothing about the process or how the market actually move, which would be your fish that you're trying to catch. You know nothing about that. How do you expect to catch anything?
you're not.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
that was a
I,
powerful metaphor, man.
I like that, man. I like that, and I'm so happy and grateful that you had the time to share that, bro. A lot of people misconclude, like, they don't understand that, practicing and perfecting your craft is more important than you actually just diving in. You know what I mean? And just like anything in life, before you can become any professional, anything, look at basketball players, look at football players, there's a process that they have to go through in order for them to be certified elite. LeBron James didn't become LeBron James without actually having to prove to everybody and to himself that he's capable of doing this. And not only that, he had to dedicate his time and his effort and his craft to be who he is. I feel like people get blindsided with the money and the lifestyle and the YouTube videos and the gurus that just promise them something and they don't, it's just like you said with the perfect example. It's just like giving somebody handouts and not teaching them how to do it. What's the famous analogy? You can teach somebody, what is it? Help me out
You
here. You
can
can teach,
teach him, you can give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. But if you
right.
teach him how to fish, he'll be able to feed himself forever.
Exactly. And I feel like that goes hand in hand, but in the process of people rather you feed them, but they won't feed themselves. You know what I mean? Like in order for me to feed myself, I had to sacrifice. I had to sacrifice late hours, weekends, parties, like things that wasn't going to benefit me in the future for me to practice my craft, for me to be where I am today. I had to give up a lot. You know what I mean? So it's just sharpening your saw, being persistent, being efficient to the things that you care about. You know what I mean? So people are not willing to do that. So they rather be fast and luxurious. Where's the fast money? Where's it going to come from? And trading allows you to have that, but just as much as allows you to have it, you can lose it just as fast too. So it's we could talk about this until we turn blue and purple. We understand all of this too, but for a newbie coming in and seeing somebody like, like an 8, 10 figure trader that's just showing high results, like, hey, I just made my 20, 30 thousand dollars today, and they just think it was just pressing a button, and they don't understand the whole process of what it took to make that income. You know,
Exactly. We
nobody ever shows you how it's done neither. So
right, and it goes back to again, like you actually understanding that combination of things that bring equilibrium to you as a trader when you understand, okay, the risk management and the risk management that actually supposed to be on certain account sizes and stuff like that, the
exactly,
psychology, the actual trading strategy, your win rate, all of these things is like a puzzle, bro, that you have to find
exactly,
that equilibrium with.
exactly, bro. But nobody has the time for the puzzle, bro. They just want the they want the fast results, bro. And
And
I want
again, I don't mean to cut you off.
no, you
That's
good, bro.
just
Talk to me.
this is just for the record. That's another reason why I say I'm a fan of demo because it helps you understand these things for like new traders that potentially may hear this. It helps you understand how to use certain lot sizes in the market. Keep
Right, bro.
practicing. Even if you blow the account, start another one until you
Right.
it's called study to show thyself approved, bro. If you cannot
Exactly.
do it on a demo, I'm almost for certain you're not
You
gonna do it in the live market.
no, no. And listen, I'm so happy you said that too. I can actually testify to this. I've actually blown accounts to where it wasn't my strategy, nor wasn't the trade. It was me. It was my lot size and my emotion and me being anxious, me not being patient. All the psychology part blew my account. People don't understand, like, psychology can blow your account, and not a lot of people knows that or talk about it too. So
You have a lot of traders, right, who's actually against demo, but I beg to different. I beg to differ because trading on the demo is no different than we could use any multiple scenarios. Just I'm gonna just give you two. I ain't gonna be long-winded with
no,
this.
you're good.
Let's just go for a general who's preparing for a war. He don't jump in the war and prepare. He prepared before he go to war. What is that considered? It's considered simulation, demo. It's not the real thing. But he has to do this to be able to establish some level of discipline beforehand, some level of structure beforehand before he goes into battle with these troops. The next scenario would be just take any sports team. I was about to say basketball, but take any sports team. Before they go on the field to play different opponents, they run what? Simulations. Simulations where they actually understand that everything may not go exactly how we practice and prepare in simulation, but at least we have a starting point that if we this is a perfect example. If we see these scenarios unfold in front of us, we prepare. Now this is a perfect example, right? And I remember this like yesterday. It was Seattle against New England, right, in the Super Bowl. Seattle went down there instead of sticking to the basics of what was working the whole game that got them to that point of about to claim victory, which was Marshawn Lynch hand the ball off to him. He run in the end zone. We know he was
Right,
gonna get,
right,
bro.
right. I
We
know what you
everybody in
mean.
America know that man was gonna get those yards and score.
There's no
But
way he wouldn't.
but guess what happened? They went to their basics, right? Which New England studied. The guy who actually intercepted that ball when they threw it, he said, we prepared for these type of scenarios. We studied a lot of film on these guys. And, it was just so happened it unfolded perfectly how we prepared. And I was ready when I seen him faked that handoff and I seen him raise up, I knew where the ball was going and I was ready. And that's how the market is. Sometimes you see it clear as day. Why? Because you ran simulation over and over and over again. And then just so happen you meet your preparation meet opportunity.
Man, I couldn't think of anything in life to where preparation doesn't come first. Even when it comes to cooking, you got to prep your meal for you to eat it. Everything comes within preparation. I can't think of anything that's not prep or, you know what I mean? So, like, you bring a valid point, bro. You bring a very valid point. But, it's the emotion, like the mindset behind all of those things is what hinders us from success, bro.